Welcome to the McNeese Intellectual Property Podcast Series. This podcast will address copyrights by Michael Doctorow, attorney at law. Mr. Doctorow is co-chair of the Intellectual Property Group at McNeese.
Thank you for joining us for this podcast today. Today we're going to be speaking about the basics of copyright for business owners. A copyright's a property right in any original expression of an idea that's fixed in a tangible medium. Examples of copyrightable works include websites, commercials, jingles, product brochures, software, works of architecture, and advertisements. Ideas and facts are not copyrightable. Rather, it is the particular expression of the idea that's protected under the copyright law. For instance, if you create a documentary, you are entitled to protect the expression of the film's subject matter. You cannot prevent someone else from creating a documentary on the same topic. If you create a copyrightable work, you are typically the owner of the work. However, there are exceptions to the rule. If an employee creates a copyrightable work within the scope of his or her employment, the employer typically owns the work. This is called a work made for hire. On the other hand, if a work is created by an independent contractor, the contractor generally owns the work instead of the company that paid for it to be created. In the business world, contractors can be advertising agencies, photographers, and website and software developers. Because ownership lies with the author when they are a contractor, business owners must always make sure they have their contractors sign a written agreement assigning their rights to the business. A copyright owner possesses several exclusive rights, including rights to make copies of the work, adapt or modify the work, publicly distribute the work, display the work, and perform the work publicly. As the copyright owner, you can prevent another person from exercising any one or more of these exclusive rights. Copyrights are owned by the author or his employer upon creation. If that's the case, why would you register copyrights in your works? There are many benefits to registration. In the United States, only with a registration can you sue someone for infringement. If you secure a registration prior to infringement, you can recover damages without proof of actual loss, up to $30,000 for unintentional infringement and $150,000 for intentional infringement. Also, with a registration, in some instances you can recover attorney's fees from the infringer. And copyright registrations are very inexpensive and simple to complete. You should use a notice of copyright on your important works. The notice is see inside a circle or the word copyright, the name of the owner, and the date of publication. The use of the notice is no longer required, but it is advisable to use the notice because it helps establish willfulness for damages purposes, and it can be useful in asserting a claim under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which is beyond the scope of this discussion. Someone will be held liable for infringing your work if they violate one of your exclusive rights. You and your staff should know that it is unlawful to copy, display, adapt, perform, or distribute works owned by others. It is not okay to copy just because the work is on the internet, because the work does not display a copyright notice, or because you only copied a portion of the work. There are certain very limited bases upon which you can copy a work, but those bases are very narrow and applied subjectively by the courts. Hopefully, there are at least 3 lessons you learned from this program. Make sure you own the works you pay for by having a written agreement with the contractors and employees. 2, explain to your staff not to copy or use works of others from the internet or elsewhere. You will be sued. And 3, register copyrights for your most important works. We'd be happy to show you how. Using the information on the screen, please feel free to contact me if you have any questions regarding the material that we covered today. For additional information regarding copyrights and copyright protection, please see our Businessman's Guide to Copyrights available on the Intellectual Property section of our website under Resources and available on the website of the Pennsylvania Chamber of Commerce. Thank you very much.